Wapishangwe na vigelegele Kenya 60. Happy Jamhuri. Asante sana Mheshimiwa Rais kwa nafasi hiyo. Ningependa kuwashukuru wote walioshiriki, wote waliopanga. Hususan Mheshimiwa Rais, nikikuomba kuelekeza macho upande wako wa kushoto. Bado kuna vijana wetu wanaendelea na uchoraji, vile vile mkono wako wa kulia Mheshimiwa Rais. Nikitambua bendi yetu iliyoko kwenye msafara wako, mkurugenzi wa muziki akiwa ni Caroline Nganga, mkurugenzi wetu Sam John Wambura na msaidizi wake Felix Murashuni. Kwa sasa Mheshimiwa Rais, tupate ujumbe wa Krismasi wakati watumizaji wetu wanapoondoka. Tuwapishe kwa makofi wanapoondoka.
Haya basi, tuwashangilie na tuwapigie makofi tena. Wakenya mpo? Wakenya mpo? Asanteni sana. Na hawa ambao naona wanakuandalia michoro, Mheshimiwa Rais, wameanza vile tumeanza, haikuwa imechorwa, lakini tunaona ya kwamba wamefanya kazi nzuri kabisa. Tuwapigie makofi pia. Kenya at 60. Asante sana. Na sasa Mheshimiwa Rais, nikubalie nimwalike gavana wa eneo gatuzi la Nairobi, Mheshimiwa Johnson Sakaja aka Sax, atukaribishe kwa kifupi, kisha amwalike naibu wa rais. Johnson Sakaja, uwanja ni wako.
Asante. Asante sana. Kenya is truly a hotbed of talent, as you have seen, Your Excellency, our President. Na hiyo shamra na sherehe haishi hapo. Your Excellency na Wakenya wote, kuanzia leo tarehe 12 Jamhuri Day hadi tarehe 17 na waalika Uhuru Park kwa Nairobi Festival, ili tuendelee kuona vijana wetu na hii shamra, wale wanaimba, wale wanachora. Come and let us enjoy the culture and vibe of the city of Nairobi. Your Excellency Dr. William Samoei Ruto, President and Commander-in-Chief of the Kenya Defence Forces, Your Excellency, our First Lady, Mama Rachel Ruto, Your Excellency, the Deputy President, Rigathi Gachagua, na Mama Dorcas Rigathi, Excellency Musalia, Prime Cabinet Secretary, na Mama Tesi, pia nisisahau marais kutoka Zanzibar, Ali Mwinyi na Saleh Wok kutoka Ethiopia, Speaker wa National Assembly, asanteni sana. Speaker wa National Assembly Moses Wetangula na Speaker wa Senate Amason Kingi, asanteni kwa vijana wa Nairobi na kina mama. Your Excellency, hapa tuko na jeshi yako ya Green Army, tuko na community health promoters, wale ambao ulihakikisha wamerudi kazi, na tuko na ile Yellow Army yetu ya chama, tuko na watu wote hapa. Today I must recognize, I know normally the Chief of General Staff is not recognized, but I must recognize the Chief of General Staff, General Francis Ogola, for such a tremendous show of Kenya at 60, together with your predecessors who are here, General Robert Kariuki Kiboshi, General Samson Jeff Wamwadheve, General Julius Waweru Karangi. Thank you for being here. Wabunge ambao wako hapa wakiongozwa na Kimani Ichung'wah, Leader of Majority, na Muga Kikuyu, na pia mbunge wa Lang'ata Jalas Jalango ambaye ako hapa. All protocols observed. 60 years ago, today, the colonizer's flag fell on these grounds that we stand in, and the Kenyan flag went up for the first time. It went up over a free nation, over a free people. In 3 generations of captivity, our ancestors endured cruelties and indignities that we cannot begin to comprehend. Yet the colonizer underestimated the courage of our ancestors. Our ancestors faced the guns of the British Empire without flinching. Many gave their lives for a liberty that they would never see. We are the sons and daughters, the inheritors of these heroes. These men and women built the mightiest empire the world had ever seen. They forged a new nation in which they toiled patiently for peace, for prosperity, for freedom, and for the dignity that they had been so long denied. Everything we have, fellow Kenyans, we inherited from them. One of the men to whom we owe our independence, the first president of the Republic of Kenya, Mzee Jomo Kenyatta, understood that every new generation of leaders has to make its mark. It was no good, he said, only to read about heroes of the past. We had to fashion ourselves to be the architects of the future. And so, we are now responsible for the management of the inheritance we have received, and we will be judged by how well we build on this generation after independence. Your Excellency, our President, as the first President of Kenya, born after independence, you are the leader of this bold, new, fresh generation of Kenya that is taking up from those who were there before we got our independence. Our trials and our triumphs since independence teach us 2 lessons, Your Excellency. We advance when we set aside our differences and commit ourselves to the common good. We fall behind when we are divided. So the first thing that this new generation of leaders must do is to rededicate ourselves to national unity. One, national unity means inclusion. This new generation must make certain that no one, whatever their race, whatever their religion, whatever their region, whatever their political affiliation, will be denied a say when we make decisions for our country. Every Kenyan deserves to be heard. Number 2, national unity means dignity. Your Excellency, each of us as Kenyans deserves honor. Kenya istahili heshima na Wakenya wanastahili kuheshimiwa, no matter what we do. We must respect the dignity of each and every single one of us. Mtukufu Rais, umetuongoza kwa hayo, kwa kupitia mambo ya afya, kwa kupitia mambo ya uchuuzi, kwa kupitia mambo ya kuhakikisha tuko na manyumba, housing, and ensuring that we are a food secure country. As a county government, we are also striving to ensure the dignity of our people, of our traders, of our hawkers, of our business people, wherever they might be. Thirdly, national unity means opportunity. No one from any part of this country will ever again, thanks to devolution, be abandoned to generational poverty and oppression because of their region. This generation of leaders, led by His Excellency William Ruto, must secure the promise of independence by bringing prosperity to those parts of the country, Your Excellency, that had been previously treated unequally in the years after independence. A first-class country cannot have a second-class citizen. Your Excellency, we cannot begin to repay the heroes of our freedom. They won a great victory. But if we imitate their unity and their patriotism, just as the songs we have heard, Mkenya Daima, just like what Eric Wanena has said, kujivunia kuwa Mkenya popote ulipo, then Your Excellency, we will truly make our country free and prosperous. Your Excellency, nikimalizia, ni muhimu niguse ya kwamba kwa miaka 60 jambo moja la muhimu lazima tujivunie ni ugatuzi. Wewe umeongoza kwa mara ya kwanza, na hii inaweza kusema kwa niaba ya magavana wote wa taifa yetu, tumeweza kupata hela ambazo zinakuja kwa county kwa muda ambao unaofaa. Kwa kuhakikisha kwamba county zinapata ugatuzi, tumeweza kubadilisha mambo mengi. Hapa tuko na wale community health promoters wa Nairobi 7,480, na wewe umezindua program ya community health promoters Kenya mzima 100,000 ambao wanaenda kwa kila nyumba. Jana tu hapa Nairobi, thanks to devolution, tulifungua the first neonatal ICU kwa watoto wetu ambao wanazaliwa kabla wa muda na wako na changamoto ya afya. We now have a neonatal ICU at Mbagathi thanks to devolution. We now have our first ICU at Mama Lucy thanks to devolution, as well as our blood bank. Your Excellency, tulizindua na wewe kule Rosambu jikoni kuhakikisha hawa watoto wetu wataweza kupata chakula kila siku shuleni. Ningependa kuambia kwamba tumemaliza jikoni 10 kuanzia January first term. Watoto wetu wote wa Nairobi watapata chakula kwa shilingi 5 peke yake kila siku katika shule zetu za umma, thanks to devolution and thanks for the work you're doing. Pia Your Excellency, na nilikuwa nazungumza na makamu wa rais Rigiji, akasema ya kwamba tulijaribu kama Nairobi wakati wa mvua, na kawaida Nairobi ikinyesha kidogo tu kuna mafuriko. Mwaka huu kwa sababu ya Green Army, hawa mavijana wetu ambao kila eneo la Nairobi wanafungua mitaro, wanasafisha drainage, hakuja kuwa na flooding Nairobi. And despite El Nino, we thank God and we thank these young people for what they've done. Kwa sasa, kwa sababu El Nino imeisha ama inaenda kuisha, kazi yao itakuwa kupanda maua, kupanda miti, kusafisha Nairobi, so that we restore the green city under the sun. Your Excellency, you're leading the continent in the Africa climate agenda. And while you were at COP28, the office of the governor of Nairobi was awarded the first green government building in Africa. We are going to take our pole position as the environmental capital of Kenya. Kwa hayo mengi, Your Excellency, changamoto najua ni mengi katika taifa, na sio Kenya tu, mataifa yote. Nairobi pia changamoto ni mengi, lakini Your Excellency, tunajua after you have set a firm foundation of our economy this past year, mambo itaangalia juu. Sisi Nairobi husema hata kama changamoto ni nyingi, lazima iwork, na tunajua na wewe lazima ina work. Merry Christmas watu wa Kenya, watu wa Nairobi. Mkienda likizo, jameni, mkirudi mutuletee mazuri sisi ambao tunabaki mji wa Nairobi. Asanteni sana, Mungu awabariki. Happy Jamhuri Day. Your Excellency, now it is my honor and pleasure to invite His Excellency, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, Rigathi Gachagua, to make his remarks. Welcome.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya and Commander-in-Chief of Kenya Defense Forces, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, Your Excellency, the First Lady of the Republic of Kenya, Mama Rachel Ruto, Your Excellency, the President of Ethiopia, Sahil Work Zewde, Your Excellency, the President of Zanzibar, Dr. Hussein Mwinyi, Your Excellency, Mama Maria Haman Mwinyi, the First Lady of Zanzibar, Right Honorable Rebecca Kadaga, the First Deputy Prime Minister of Uganda and EAC Minister, Your Excellency, the Vice President of Burundi, Prosper Bazobanza, the Prime Cabinet Secretary, the Honorable Musalia Mudavadi, the Speaker of the National Assembly, Moses Wetangula, the Speaker of the Senate, Jeff Akingi, the Chief Justice and President of the Supreme Court, Lady Justice Martha Koome, the Chief of Defense Forces, General Ogola, Service Commanders, Cabinet Secretaries and Principal Secretaries, the leadership of the National Assembly, members of Parliament present, the Governor of Nairobi City, Johnson Sakaja, Excellencies, ambassadors, heads of missions and high commissions, political and other leaders, distinguished guests, gallant Kenyans. It is a historic moment. We mark 60 years of independence today. We celebrate because our selfless fathers and mothers denied themselves the comfort of their families to birth one huge family, Kenya, a nation we are proud of. It is therefore befitting, Your Excellency, to pay homage to the freedom fighters who, with crude weapons, sheer determination and resolve, defied advanced arms of the colonialists to deliver a free Kenya. The freedom we gained in 1963 placed us in charge of our destiny, a destiny of freedom from poverty, disease, and illiteracy. Our country has made monumental progress in these fronts. Our beloved President, Dr. William Ruto, is implementing a radical plan, the Kenya Kwanza plan for socio-economic transformation. For instance, in just a year, Your Excellency, you have laid a firm foundation for socio-economic transformation. In October, you put the nation on course to achieving universal health coverage. Under our President's leadership, we are implementing comprehensive educational reforms through the competency-based curriculum, which we have far-reaching positive implications on our country. Your Excellency, the fifth administration is expanding financial inclusion to drive entrepreneurship, besides undertaking fundamental reforms in the public sector, among other interventions. We are leaving no one behind in Kenya. The Kenya we want is the one the President is leaving no one behind, and that is the Kenya we all deserve. Your Excellency, we acknowledge your forward-looking leadership on regional and international matters. This is important because a stable and prosperous Africa means a better Kenya. We recognize the key role of the youth in the rebirth of Africa. This is one of the reasons that the focus of the 60th Jamhuri Day is on youth, the creative economy, and sports. Your Excellency, it is now my duty and privilege to welcome you to address the nation. Mr. President.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Rigiji. Naomba tuketi. Let's take our seats. Your Excellency, President Zuide Zaliwok, the President of Ethiopia. Your Excellency, President Hussein Ali Mwinyi, the President of Zanzibar. The Vice President, His Excellency Prosper Bozombanza, the Vice President of Burundi. My sister, Rebecca Kadaka, First Deputy Prime Minister of Uganda. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Wakenya wenzangu, hamjambo. Wakenya hamjambo. Wakenya hoye. Wakenya hoye. Mimi kwanza, kabla sijasema mambo machache, nataka niwaulize ndugu zetu waliotutembelea, marafiki zetu, our friends from the region who have come to join us in this celebration. I want to start with my sister to bring her greetings from our neighbors in Uganda. The First Deputy Prime Minister, my sister Rebecca. I know you understand some Kiswahili. Tafadhali tumpishe hapo aweze aje atusalimie na atupatie salamu kutoka nchi jirani na mzee wetu, mzee rais wa Uganda. Karibu.
Your Excellency, Dr. William Samoei Ruto and Mama Ruto, the Deputy President, Honorable Rigathi Gachagua and Mama Gachagua, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, this is a message from President Yoweri Museveni, who was not able to attend, but he has asked me to pass it on to you. It is a great pleasure and honor to join you, my brothers and sisters, to mark Kenya's 60th independence anniversary. I congratulate the people of Kenya upon this great milestone. Your Excellency and distinguished guests, I wish to note that Kenya has always been a cradle of peace and stability in Africa, supporting liberation struggles in the region as far back as the 1950s, and actively seeking for peaceful resolution to conflict in the region. These are not mean achievements for the region.
I think you can speak from here. The loudspeaker there is continue.
These are not mean achievements for a region that has been very prone to conflict. I therefore would like to recognize Kenya's unique contribution as a frontline state in the liberation struggles. I would like to pay special tribute to Mzee Jomo Kenyatta, the founding father and first president of the Republic of Kenya, for his courageous and heroic role in the freedom struggle within the region and beyond. With our people's civil wars and liberation struggles of the last 70 years, the ideological landscape of the area has changed. This ideological change has, however, not yet been translated into a political union that some of our leaders, like Nkrumah, Nyerere, and Kenyatta, had envisaged at independence. Nevertheless, that dream has been revived. We have intensified the discussion on political integration, the need for the East African Federation. The future for this cause is at its brightest. Economic and political integration is permanent cure for Africa's weaknesses and marginalization in the world. Africa must cure itself of the victim mentality and take the initiative of shaping her own destiny. We have an unprecedented advantage of a market of 1.3 billion people. This is a formidable treasure in our hands. It has the potential of not only making us richer, but also earning us respect in the world as a power to reckon with. In 1986, when the NRM captured power, Uganda's population was a paltry 15 billion people. The East African community would have compensated for Uganda's whole internal market had been brought to its knees. The NRM government lost no time in working with our Tanzanian and Kenyan brothers and sisters to revive the East African community. Our concerted efforts paid off in 1999 when the regional member states Uganda, Kenya, and Tanzania signed the treaty which will establish the East African community. The community has since grown with the addition of Rwanda, Burundi, South Sudan, Democratic Republic of Congo, and recently Somalia. The regional economic groups like ECOWAS, COMESA, EAC, SADC have helped raise the volume of trade among the African countries, and with the signing and ratification by individual member states of the African Continental Free Trade Area, Africa now boasts of the largest free trade area in the world. This is true harnessing of power and must continue consolidating Africa's great potential to our advantage. It must be remembered that Africa was forcefully integrated into the world economy as a source of cheap labor and raw materials for Western industries. Africa has donated enough wealth to the rest of the world. It is time to cut off the proboscis of the parasites whose wealth has been sucked from our mines, soils, forests, lakes, etc. Our chief interest should be to secure the survival and prosperity for our children and their children. There is no better guarantee for their future than working towards political and economic integration of Africa. For the first time, we have an opportunity of safeguarding our great human and natural resources under an African supranational government. Finally, Political and economic integration is crucial for bargaining with other countries, for access to their markets, e.g. the USA, EU, India, China, Russia, Japan, etc. I once again congratulate all Kenyans upon celebrating the 68th independence anniversary and wish you good luck and happy celebrations. Thank you very much.
Asante sana. Wacha nichukue nafasi hii nimpatie ndugu yangu naibu wa rais wa kutoka nchi jirani ya Burundi. My friend, the
Excellency William Samuel Ruto, President of the Republic of Kenya, Excellency the First Lady Mama Ruto, Excellencies Head of State and Government, Excellencies Heads of Delegation, dear Kenyans, ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed. It is indeed a great pleasure and honor for me and my delegation to be here in Nairobi with the Kenyan people to celebrate together the 16th anniversary of Kenya's Jamhuri Day. On behalf of His Excellency Evariste Ndayishimiye, President of the Republic of Burundi, and the people of Burundi, allow me at the outset to convey warm greetings and congratulations to President William Samuel Ruto, the government and the people of Kenya for this great achievement in the life of a nation. The Burundians share this great celebration with the Kenyan people, both in Kenya and abroad. Excellencies, as you know, in Africa, we gained political independence by liberating ourselves from the dark period of colonization. But another important fight must continue: the economic and technological Jamhuri. We must lead this fight with determination, unity, and self-confidence as Africans. To conclude, I wish once again to express my warm congratulations to the leaders and people of Kenya for what they have done and still doing for this great nation in the field of economic and social development. Kenya oye! President William Samuel Ruto oye! East Africa oye! Africa oye! Mungu ibariki Kenya. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Wacha nichukue nafasi hii sasa nimuite ndugu yangu rais wa nchi jirani ya Zanzibar, Mheshimiwa Mwinyi, karibu.
Mheshimiwa Dr. William Ruto, Rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya, na Mama Ruto, Mheshimiwa Makamu wa Rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya, Mheshimiwa Waziri Mkuu na Waziri wa Mambo ya Nje na Diaspora wa Kenya, waheshimiwa viongozi wengine nyote mliopo hapa, waheshimiwa wageni waalikwa wenzangu, natambua uwepo wa Rais wa Ethiopia, Makamu wa Rais wa Burundi na Naibu Waziri Mkuu wa Uganda, ndugu wananchi wa Kenya, mabibi na mabwana. Awali ya yote napenda kuanza kwa kumshukuru Mwenyezi Mungu mwingi wa rehema aliyetuwezesha kuifikia siku hii ya leo. Aidha, natoa shukrani kwa Mheshimiwa Dr. William Ruto, Rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya, kwa kutualika kushiriki kwenye siku hii muhimu ya maadhimisho ya miaka 60 ya uhuru wa Jamhuri ya Kenya maarufu kama Jamhuri Day. Mheshimiwa Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, Rais wa Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania, alitamani sana awepo kuhudhuria sherehe hizi. Hata hivyo, kutokana na athari kubwa za mafuriko yaliyoikumba nchi yetu upande wa kaskazini, ameshindwa kuja yeye mwenyewe na ameniagiza nije nimwakilishe. Kwa niaba ya serikali pamoja na wananchi wote wa Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania, napenda nitumie fursa hii kutoa pongezi nyingi kwa serikali na wananchi wa Kenya kwa kuadhimisha siku hii ya kihistoria kwa taifa lenu. Kipekee naipongeza sana serikali na wananchi wa Kenya kwa mafanikio makubwa mliyoyapata katika kipindi cha miaka 60 iliyopita. Kwa hakika mmepiga hatua kubwa sana. Kenya ya sasa sio sawa na Kenya ya mwaka 1963. Na sisi wa Tanzania tunafarijika sana kuona kuwa chini ya uongozi wako Mheshimiwa Rais Dr. Ruto, Kenya inazidi kusonga mbele. Hongereni sana. Mheshimiwa viongozi, uhusiano kati ya Tanzania na Kenya ni wa muda mrefu na wa kihistoria. Sio tu kwamba sisi ni majirani, bali pia wananchi wetu ni ndugu na utamaduni unaofanana. Hii ndio sababu ni vigumu sana kumtofautisha Mmasai, Mdigo, Mjaluo, Mkuria na Msegeju wa Kenya na wale wa upande wa Tanzania. Wote wanazungumza lugha moja. Hivyo hii yote inadhihirisha kuwa sisi ni ndugu na ni wamoja. Na jambo la kufurahisha zaidi ni kwamba serikali zetu pia zinashirikiana vizuri na zimekuwa zikifanya kazi kwa karibu kwenye masuala mbalimbali ya kimataifa, hususan kupitia Jumuiya ya Afrika Mashariki, Jumuiya ya Nchi za Maziwa Makuu, Umoja wa Afrika, Jumuiya ya Madola na bila kusahau Umoja wa Mataifa. Kutokana na uhusiano na ushirikiano mzuri uliopo, nchi zetu mbili zimeweza pia kunufaika kiuchumi, hususan katika nyanja ya biashara na uwekezaji. Mathalan, thamani ya biashara kati ya nchi zetu kwa mwaka 2022 ilifikia trilioni 1.8 za Tanzania, sawa na takriban. Kenya pia ni miongoni mwa nchi 10 zinazoongoza kwa uwekezaji nchini Tanzania. Hii inaonyesha kuwa Kenya ni mshirika na mbia wetu muhimu wa maendeleo. Hivyo basi, leo ambapo Kenya mnasherehekea miaka 60 ya uhuru wake, napenda nitumie fursa hii kuahidi kuwa serikali ya Tanzania itaendelea kushirikiana bega kwa bega na serikali ya Kenya katika kukuza na kuimarisha zaidi uhusiano na ushirikiano wetu wa kidugu na kihistoria kwa manufaa ya nchi zetu mbili. Mwisho, napenda nihitimishe kwa kurudia tena kutoa mapongezi nyingi kwa serikali na wananchi wa Kenya kwa kutimiza miaka 60 ya uhuru wa nchi yenu, na wapongeza pia kwa mafanikio makubwa mlioyapata. Mungu ibariki Kenya, Mungu ibariki Tanzania, Mungu ibariki Afrika. Asanteni sana kwa kunisikiliza.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Rais. Wacha sasa nichukue nafasi hii ya mwisho kumkaribisha dada yetu, the President of Ethiopia, our sister. Please, karibu.
I was worried. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, Dr. William Ruto, President of Kenya, my sister, First Lady, Madam Ruto, Your Excellency, the Deputy President, many friends gathered here, my foreign dignitaries, and the great people of Nairobi and Kenya. For me, this is the 8th Jamhuri Day I'm celebrating here in Nairobi since 2011. I had the immense privilege of joining you with the huge UN family present in this city, Nairobi, which is the seat of the 2 global programs of the United Nations, the 2 only ones in the Global South, and also a headquarters of the United Nations. Today I'm here representing Ethiopia to this very important celebration of your Independence Day, and I have the honor and great privilege of bringing to you greetings, warm greetings from your brothers and sisters in Ethiopia. 60 years is indeed a milestone. I have been, as I said, a witness of the great progress that Kenya has made during since its independence. I would like to wish you success and prosperity and happiness to the great people of Kenya, which is an extraordinary host for whoever comes to this country. So I would like to wish you a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, and really long life, Your Excellency, and a happy Jamhuri Day to all of you, and may God bless this beautiful country and its people. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Tuwapigie ndugu zetu hawa makofi jameni kwa kutuzungumzia. Asante sana. Years ago, on a day like this, Kenya took its final step of the freedom struggle to become a sovereign republic. I am delighted to have the privilege of leading our nation in celebrating this milestone in our journey to national independence. According to the vision of our forefathers who fought for this country's freedom, independence was intended to bestow on us the gift of political as well as economic self-determination. This anniversary gives us the opportunity to gather as a family and reflect together on how we have fared over the course of 6 decades. It is clear that we have made undeniable progress on many fronts, and as a result, our nation has come a long way in the right direction. Before that first Jamhuri Day, Kenya's sovereignty was exercised by an unelected foreign and colonial power for the benefit of an occupying minority. We have since matured from a single-party state to a competitive, multi-party democracy and a devolved system of governance with robust checks and balances under the Constitution that was ratified by the people of Kenya in the year 2010. Along with the maturity of our democracy, Kenya's institutions of governance have evolved significantly. Parliament, for example, is now, more than ever, an independent, assertive organ of government with its own calendar and its own budget. As a result of this autonomy, party positions on important national issues are much more clearly defined, and whenever circumstances and the national interest demand, bipartisan engagement across the political divide is pursued in a structured manner. Proposals currently before Parliament on the enhancement of the autonomy of our county assemblies prove that our assemblies at the county level are also making encouraging progress in their maturation into independent watchdogs, policymakers, and representatives of people at our counties. Devolution is growing its roots deeper to connect with the soul and spirit of our nation. We have consistently allocated more resources and made them available on time, and supported measures to further empower county assemblies to become good stewards. Our political culture has also evolved considerably. We are now committed to making sure that at every election, our democratic competition is less about personalities and tribes and more about issues and the national interest. As a result, the last general election, which serves as a very solid beacon of this new direction, reflects the true will and confidence of the people of Kenya in democracy. Without the rule of law, ladies and gentlemen, our democracy falls short of serving us as a people. The judiciary, which is our nation's foremost anchor of the rule of law, continues to grow in its capacity to authoritatively discharge its constitutional mandate and make justice a right of every Kenyan. To provide effective and efficient services to the people, we have enhanced resources available to the judiciary, promoted respect for its independence, and submitted to its authority in order to deepen our credentials as a nation guided by the rule of law. To complete this framework of institutions designed to safeguard and promote constitutionalism and the rule of law, our constitutional commissions and independent officers have evolved to discharge their mandate in accordance with the Constitution and in the most constructive manner in support of good governance. The IEBC, Commission for Revenue Allocation, the Salaries Remuneration Commission, among many, have lived up to their constitutional expectations and Kenyans' aspirations. Today, there is much to celebrate about the strides we have made for the last 6 decades. The democratic credentials of our political culture are solid and our institutional maturity beyond any doubt. Fellow countrymen and women, 60 years ago, we certainly were far from where we are today. The progress we have made is undeniable. Our peers at that time, nations like South Korea, Singapore, and Malaysia, have similarly made immense progress in democratic and institutional maturity. They have, however, made much more economic progress than we, and as a consequence, we are much more advanced today. They are much more advanced today than we are. The point at which we stand today is the culmination of the collective endeavor of our nation's founding generation and those that came after them. The vision, which inspired their struggle and sacrifice, was one of a united, free, democratic, and economically prosperous nation. They fought for true sovereignty, which envisioned political democracy and economic prosperity. Our forefathers made huge sacrifices to win for Kenya the freedom we celebrate today, and the generations that followed have made their contributions progressively to bring our state, society, and economy to what it is presently. We gather today to express our gratitude, celebrate their legacy, and contemplate our contribution to accelerating future progress. In our democratic and political journey, we have made tremendous sacrifices and progress, from a single party to multi-party, personality and ethnic parochialism to issue-based and national politics, from violence and intolerance discourse to orderly and peaceful elections. However, we have not made as much progress with our economy. Our savings as a percentage of GDP is dismal. The gap between the rich and the poor has not reduced. Many, especially young people, don't have jobs, and our revenues as a percentage of GDP remain low. Our generation must therefore take up the unfinished job of actualizing economic prosperity as our contribution to perfecting Kenya's national sovereignty. We owe this to those who made huge sacrifices to bestow on us a nation of promise. We owe it to one another, to the youth, women, children of Kenya, and to each and every one of us. The responsibility of our generation, beginning with this administration, is to make smart choices and necessary sacrifices just as our forefathers and those who came after them did. And the choice is to match our economic progress with our democratic and political achievements. This is the assignment we took up on day one, the 13th of September 2022, and which we have been painstakingly undertaking for the past year. Our focus has been firmly about the ways and means to transform our economy, making the right decisions, necessary sacrifices, and smart choices to set Kenya on a path of economic renaissance. This transformation began with all of us as the people of Kenya making immense sacrifices and huge contributions together to pull back our country from the brink of debt distress. The greatness and patriotic devotion of the people of Kenya have been on display during the past year. Together, we have made the right choices, sometimes taken very difficult and painful decisions to steer Kenya back from the edge of a catastrophic cliff of debt distress and move our country in a new direction. There is every reason to believe that without serious sacrifices and hard work over the past year, the crises, threats, and challenges in the global economic and geopolitical environment confronting us would have overwhelmed us, as indeed it has many countries. We have had to make our contribution to the struggle for the nation's economic sovereignty. We have had to cut back significantly on expenditure and to defer the implementation of critical development programs to stabilize our economy. The policy measures required to mobilize necessary revenues have been difficult, but they were our only way and means of escape. Though painful, the sacrifices we have made, which would not only make our freedom fighters proud, are also absolutely necessary at a time as this and in situations that we find ourselves, and is the guarantee of our nation's economic stability. Proudly, these sacrifices have paid off. I can now confirm, without fear of any contradiction, that Kenya is safely out of the danger of debt distress and that our economy is on a stable footing. The economic indicators point to good news. Inflation is now 6.8%, down from a high of 9.2% a year ago. In the last 6 months, our GDP has grown at a rate of 5.4%, making Kenya the 29th fastest growing economy in the world, according to the World Bank. There is no question about it. What we have done together, the price we have paid together, and the sacrifices we have made together have rescued our country from an economic catastrophe. After navigating our ways out of the difficult and complicated debt situation, our second action is to accelerate economic progress, which is the cardinal assignment of our generation. Wazalendo wenzangu, our human capital, our innovative, smart working, professional labor force is probably the single most potent arsenal we have to drive our economic progress. Globally, Kenyans have excelled in semi-skilled, skilled, and professional occupations. Our expenditure on training, learning, and education in general is a most appropriate investment in the development of the human capital necessary in our economic progress. Recognizing this, we have increased the total allocation to our education sector by an additional 127 billion this year. Out of this, 46 billion will support the new university funding model that gives equal chance to every child in Kenya to acquire university education. An additional 9 billion to cover our TVET funding model and the hiring of an extra 2,000 tutors necessary for our TVET education. An additional 47 billion to enable TSC, Teacher Service Commission, hire 56,000 new teachers and other interventions, and 24 billion for junior secondary school and to support the construction of additional infrastructure. To cover the chronic classroom deficit in the city of Nairobi, we have undertaken to build 3,500 additional classrooms in the city of Nairobi, with the first 1 billion allocated in this year's budget. And we are going to work with all members of parliament to make sure that the city of Nairobi, the seat of government, and the pride of our nation does not leave any child behind when it comes to education. Agriculture, ladies and gentlemen, plays a central and pivotal role in our economy, contributing to food security, supplying raw materials for our agro-processing and value addition and manufacturing, for domestic and market and export markets, creating jobs and also creating wealth. Only specific, targeted and deliberate interventions will enhance our agricultural productivity and overall production. This began with the registration of farmers, provision of crop-specific fertilizers, reforms in the tea, coffee, sugarcane, and edible oil sector, provisions of mobile dryers, and other interventions underway across the nation so as to reduce the cost of food, which consumes 56% of household incomes, to reduce by half our food import bill, which today stands at Kenya shillings 500 billion, and also to increase our exports. Further, 400 fresh produce markets, including 20 in the city of Nairobi, 47 county aggregation industrial parks, as well as 6 special economic zones, are under various stages of implementation to enhance value addition, agro-processing, and manufacturing, and also to stimulate economic growth in every part of Kenya. Economic productivity and general well-being are significantly hampered by a population that is prone to ill health. Individual and family medical expenditure drain household incomes and erode family savings, in many cases leading to financial ruin and destitution. Fellow countrymen, our universal health coverage plan seeks a paradigm shift in the provision of health care from curative to a largely preventive and promotive approach. Our radical transformative plan has seen the enactment of 4 acts of parliament, which I thank our legislature, as well as the rollout of 100,000 community health promoters, for which I thank all county government for participating. I commend counties who have already paid community health promoters their stipends and commit that the national government will pay our portion beginning the end of this month. The laws we have enacted now provide a framework in the Emergency, Chronic and Critical Illness Fund that will liberate the people of Kenya from the burden of catastrophic hospital bills in the treatment of conditions like cancer, diabetes, hypertension, and other critical and chronic conditions. Additionally, the new funding model that is fair, equitable, and progressive will see the government of Kenya, for the first time, pay the cost of health insurance for all vulnerable Kenyans who have no ability to pay. Those currently paying 500 will have their contributions reduced, with the least paying Kenya shillings 300. To enhance efficiency and eliminate pilferage in the healthcare system, The new digital law will underpin the digitization of the entire health service delivery framework. While empirical evidence, ladies and gentlemen, shows us that economic growth has the potential to create jobs, and the measures enumerated above will create opportunities for employment, these interventions on their own will not create the kind and scale of employment needed to deal with unemployment in Kenya today. For employment and job creation to be at the scale necessary to make a significant dent on our unemployment status, and deal effectively with prevailing challenges, our interventions must be ambitious and systematic, consistent and intentional, as well as deliberate and progressive. Kenyans, our housing program is fundamentally a massive, deliberate and systematic job creation mechanism. Apart from the thousands of direct employment opportunities in construction and associated services, the housing scheme directly supports the formal and informal manufacturing of materials, fixtures, fittings, and accessories required in construction. Those employed range from architects, engineers, quantity surveyors, site workers, artisans, fabricators, electricians, plumbers, and many more. The housing program is a bottom-up job creator. There are 33 active housing development sites already employing 120,000 people in various parts of the country. Another 31 sites are undergoing evaluation to begin construction next month. Other sites in various stages of design across the country. By next year, the entire country, in our estimation, will be a bustling construction site with housing projects proceeding in every county and every constituency. Our strategic focus is to construct hundreds of thousands of housing units while creating millions of jobs across Kenya. Remember, South Korea, Singapore, and Malaysia undertook these major housing works some 40 years ago, and that is why their economies, among many other factors, are ahead of us. Yesterday, ladies and gentlemen, I signed into law amendments to the National Government County Constituency Development Fund Act, which set out a framework to anchor the development of ICT hubs in each of the 1,450 wards in the country. I salute members of Parliament for the partnership to expand our digital superhighway infrastructure to provide training opportunities and create thousands of digital job opportunities for young people across Kenya. We are also rolling out training and digital job opportunities in our TVETs countrywide. Already, 23,000 computers have been distributed, with many students now monetizing their skills online in our TVET institutions. We are also in discussion with county governments to jointly expand vocational training centers to accommodate ICT hub infrastructure so as to enhance the digital jobs footprint across Kenya. The digital job ecosystem, ladies and gentlemen, we are building is an intentional, dynamic, and innovative mechanism to create jobs in the technology and digital space. We have dedicated specific attention to infrastructure development to promote connectivity through a nationwide network of transport and communication infrastructure, actualize the constitutional right to clean and safe water in adequate quantities as enshrined in the Article 43 of the Constitution, and connect all Kenyans to electricity across the country. On Jamhuri Day last year, I announced a grand plan to transform Kenyan sports and creatives into a significant industry to expand livelihoods opportunities for our youth through the government flagship Talanta Hela initiative, which we officially unveiled in June this year. Our sportsmen and women continue to make our country proud with their conquest far and wide. Our women volleyball, and men's rugby teams have qualified for the Paris Olympics in 2024. Our athletes continue to excel at various global events, as is well exemplified by the shining performance in the long and middle distance races. Today, I have conferred upon our world-beating athlete, Faith Kipyegon, the rank and status of Elder of the Order of the Golden Heart, the highest honor our country awards its citizens who illuminate the path of excellence. She has earned her place at the very top, from running barefoot to breaking 2 world records within a year, is the ultimate stage of heroism. Faith's journey is an inspiration to all our young and aspiring athletes. I equally salute Ferdinando Manyala, Mary Mora, Kevin Kiptum, Emmanuel Wanyonyi, Faith Cherotich, who have also registered their presence in the world stage, and they too will be feted. This administration has also taken deliberate steps to build and invest in the creative economy. First, the famous Grammy Awards have a partnership with us, and starting January, the Innovation Studios of Hollywood have agreed to begin shooting multiple movie rights here in Kenya. Google, in collaboration with the Ministries of Education and ICT, has begun implementing a Kenya Institute of Curriculum Education-sponsored coding program in primary and secondary schools to reach 4 million learners. The partnership will also train 42,000 teachers. I have good news for our creatives and those who imagine and produce content through Facebook and Instagram. Just yesterday, Meta committed to helping creators in Kenya earn money for crafting original content. Following a pilot program with eligible creators in the country, Meta will be expanding monetization opportunities and allowing more creators to earn a living doing what they love. Kenya possesses impressive credentials as a source of highly professional human capital, with highly educated, trained, skilled, and dynamic young people. We have systematically and intentionally negotiated separate bilateral agreements with countries in the Middle East, Europe, and the Americas to connect our skilled workforce with opportunities globally. This will provide exposure to thousands of Kenyans to work in international organizations, engage in global assignments, and monetize their skills and talents as they enhance their incomes and personal development. Millions of Kenyans already working abroad have been great ambassadors for our country and have made huge contributions through their remittances to the development of Kenya. Ndugu wa Kenya, Kenya remains committed to driving climate action, and I am proud that we can play a significant role shaping the climate agenda on the continent. We have demonstrated leadership which has been recognized both on the continent and beyond, and we must continue to play our part both domestically and on the global stage. Recently, I launched the Africa Green Industrialization Initiative in partnership with the United Arab Emirates and several other African heads of states at COP28 in Dubai. The goal of the initiative is to enable businesses to build rapidly in Kenya using our renewable energy resources and across our continent. In keeping with our commitment, ladies and gentlemen, to correct the market failure in the provision of affordable credit, especially to those who have no access to any collateral, and to free millions of Kenyans trapped in the credit rating maze, the Hustler Fund has grown to become the largest financial inclusion program in Kenya, disbursing Kenya's shillings 42 billion to more than 21 million borrowers across Kenya. A week ago, we celebrated the Hustler Fund's first anniversary. Borrowers on the fund have saved Kenya's shillings 2 billion with a repayment rate of 75% nationally. As promised, we have already enhanced credit limits for over 1.2 million borrowers and spent 500 million to match long-term savings on a ratio of Kenya shillings 1 for every Kenya shillings 2 saved. At the end of this month, just in a few days, every saver will be paid an attractive interest rate of 12% on all their savings. Over 7.7 million people are regular borrowers on the Hustler Fund platform. The fund will be enhanced from next month with specific financial products to provide additional enterprise and business facilities for existing Mama Mboga and Boda Boda SACCOs across Kenya. We undertook to build a culture of savings in Kenya as an effort to create long-term investment resources to fund our growth and development and provide better retirement for working Kenyans. The new NSSF contribution model has enhanced monthly contributions by 4.5 times. Consequently, the fund will raise an additional 400 billion in the next 5 years, tripling the value of the fund from 300 billion to over 1 trillion by 2027. Furthermore, our countrymen and women no longer have to wait for over 3 months to receive their retirement benefits. Owing to the digitization and automation, NSSF benefit processing turnaround time has improved significantly from an average of 82 days to 10 days, and with a further reduction envisaged in processing period to come down to 1 day by next year. We are also undertaking the expansion of retirement benefits coverage to 15 million Kenyans currently active in the informal sector through product innovation and bottom-up enrollment strategies at the grassroots level. Ladies and gentlemen, we made a commitment to our dear citizens who are elderly, orphaned, and those who live with severe disability that they shall receive their social protection stipends before public servants, including the president, receive their salaries. We have kept our word and delivered on this commitment. Consequently, all the 1,200,000 eligible beneficiaries now receive their stipends on time before we are all paid as public servants. We have, however, allocated an additional 2 billion shillings for newly enrolled beneficiaries who are undergoing verification at the moment, and we will begin to disburse their stipends by 1st March next year. This program has had challenges with the beneficiaries traveling long distances and spending considerable portions of their stipend on logistics. Working with Safaricom, we have structured a new delivery mechanism for all our stipend-earning beneficiaries to receive their stipends from M-Pesa agents in their localities. Orphans and persons living with severe disability will begin using this new mechanism this month in a few days. The elderly will, however, start in January because the process is being finalized. I commend Safaricom for demonstrating corporate patriotism and providing this service free of charge. Ndugu wa Kenya, Kenyans are doing their part to support the effort to stabilize and grow our economy. Their sacrifices and contributions are essential and must be honored. We are therefore taking strong measures to ensure that all public resources are administered transparently, efficiently, and in a secure manner. One of our best interventions is the use of digital technology and the migration of all government services and revenue collection to a single pay bill. Since this measure was implemented, we have witnessed a significant rise in total revenues collected. Besides enhancing revenue collection, digitization has eliminated revenue leakage through corruption and theft. It is most important that we sustain this progress in promoting integrity, transparency, and efficiency in resource management. And for this reason, I direct that all agencies observe the December 31st deadline to finalize the migration to e-Citizen platform. It is only right that I match this admirable commitment by the people of Kenya to do their part in getting the economy going and give an assurance that all taxes collected by government shall be put to their intended use and that no single shilling, no Kenyan shilling, shall be lost through embezzlement, theft, or corruption. I urge our justice, law, and order institutions, led by the judiciary and the anti-corruption agencies, to discharge their mandate without fear, favor, ill will, or prejudice. I also give my personal undertaking to support the timely prosecution of all those involved in corruption without regard to their social, economic, ethnic, political status, or connection, or any other consideration whatsoever. This is the minimum that is expected of us in fulfillment of our constitutional mandate, and Kenyans deserve no less. The story of our nation's sovereignty cannot be fully told without mentioning the fundamental character of our territorial integrity, economic prosperity, political democracy, the rule of law, and the integrity of our social fabric. Our national security apparatus have remained a strong shield against terrorism, crime, and insecurity. As we continue to invest resources into the security sector, we continue to expect continuous improvement in its overall capacity to keep our nation's boundaries inviolable, our people's lives and property safe and secure. I cannot forget the public service. Every member of our civil service has been entrusted with a rare opportunity to make their unique contribution to national transformation. As such, they are at a most advantageous position to demonstrate our national values and principles of governance for the benefit of all Kenyans. Today, I appreciate you for being loyal servants, dependable professionals, and true patriots, and urge you to do more as our people's partners in the transformation of Kenya. Much has been given to you by the people of Kenya, and therefore, much more is expected of you. On behalf of the people, I shall hold you to the highest standards of efficiency, effectiveness, transparency, and accountability in serving our nation. Ladies and gentlemen, infrastructure development is a critical enabler for transformation of agriculture, delivery of health, job creation, and overall economic growth. As a result, our investment in road and rail network, electricity generation and connection, and water harvesting, storage, and reticulation continue to be a critical component of our development strategy. A comprehensive multi-year plan is progressively being implemented to support the overall socio-economic development of the country. Our world, ladies and gentlemen, our world and the good in it belongs to those who are not shy to embrace globalization. Kenyans have shown time and again that we are not afraid of the world beyond our borders. We venture abroad fearlessly and warmly welcome our visitors from near and far. This is not by accident. The scientific history account of early humanity is told by various archaeological sites in our country. In short, we are the first home of all humanity, and we joyfully embrace our ancestral task of welcoming humanity home. That Kenya is the home of humanity is a scientific fact that fills us with pride and underscores our rich heritage. It is with great pleasure, as President of this extraordinary country, to make a historic announcement of the decision of the government of Kenya. Beginning January 2024, Kenya will be a visa-free country. It shall no longer be necessary for any person from any corner of the globe to carry the burden of applying for a visa to come to Kenya. To echo the call of the Turkana people to the world, Tobongu Lore, a simple message to humanity: welcome home. This is why the government of Kenya has abolished the requirement of visas for all visitors. To implement this new policy, we have developed a digital platform to ensure that all travelers to Kenya are identified in advance on an electronic platform. Consequently, all travelers will obtain electronic travel authorization as they come to Kenya. Ladies and gentlemen, I have set out an account clearly showing that although much remains to be done to bring economic progress up to the level of our political maturity and to transform our economy to the ranks of our historical peers globally, we nevertheless have real cause to celebrate the contributions made by each one of us to the collective national endeavor in keeping with the aspirations of the brave and indomitable patriots who set us on this path to national glory. We must now go forth with greater resolve, inspired by the heroic achievements of those who came before us, affirmed by the confidence that our work matters for increasing our heritage and glory, encouraged by the progress we are making, and determined to accomplish our generation's solemn obligation to make this nation a true Jamhuri of people, free, prosperous, secure, and democratic. Ladies and gentlemen, I conclude by thanking all Kenyans, Wakenya wote walioshiriki pamoja na sisi kuhakikisha ya kwamba muda mgumu ambao tumekuwa nayo, sote tumeungana, tumeshirikiana na kila mtu amefanya sehemu yake kuhakikisha kwamba Kenya inasonga mbele. Pia vile nimetangaza hapa, wale wazee, wale watu wanaoishi na ulemavu, na pia wale watoto wetu ambao ni orphans, tumesema ya kwamba wamekuwa wakihangaika siku nyingi kwenda kutafuta pesa ya cash transfer. Sasa tumebadilisha sera na pesa zao za cash transfer itapatikana katika kijiji yao. Hawatasafiri tena ama kuhangaika kusafiri safari mrefu kutafuta stipends zao. Vile vile tumekubaliana ya kwamba kwa mara ya kwanza serikali ya Kenya italipia wale hawana uwezo ili wawe na bima ya afya ya NHIF, so that kila Mkenya awe na bima ya afya. Na tumekubaliana vile vile ya kwamba funding model mpya ama mpango wetu mpya wa kulipa pesa ya bima ya afya sasa itawawezesha wale wamekuwa wakilipa shilingi 500, pia tutawapunguzia ije shilingi 300, ndio tuhakikishe ya kwamba kila Mkenya ako na bima ya afya. Na hakuna Mkenya tena, vile nimesema hapa, hakuna Mkenya tena akiwa na ugonjwa wa saratani ama kansa ama diabetes ambaye atauza mali yake ili aweze kulipia gharama ya hospitali, kwa sababu sasa tuko na hazina maalum ambayo itashughulikia Wakenya wote ambao wako na magonjwa ambayo ni chronic kama vile kansa ama saratani. Kwa hivyo mimi nawatakia heri. I take this very early opportunity to wish every Kenyan and all our friends near and far a Merry Christmas and a prosperous 2024. Asanteni sana. Thank you very much. God bless you. Mungu wabariki sana. Thank you.
Kwa heshima naomba sote tusimame kwa wimbo wa taifa na wimbo wa Jumuiya ya Afrika Mashariki. Niombe tuweze kutulia. Mwenzangu Mike Gitone atupe itifaki ya kufumukana mahali hapa. Kwako Gitone.
Nitaomba sote viongozi tafadhali tutulie kwenye jukwaa ili tuweze kuelekezwa kwenye itifaki ya kuondoka. Niombe kwa heshima. Nafasi hii nitaomba tumpe nafasi Mheshimiwa Daktari William Ruto, Rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya na Amiri Jeshi Mkuu, pamoja na Mama Taifa, wakisindikishwa na Mkuu wa Majeshi ya Ulinzi Jenerali Francis Ogola, kuweza kushuka kwenye Nitaomba baada ya Mheshimiwa Rais kuondoka, Mheshimiwa Waziri Mkuu wa Mawaziri Mheshimiwa Musalia Mudavadi apishwe ili aweze kufika kule Ikulu kuwakaribisha wageni wetu. Baada ya msafara wa Mheshimiwa Rais Daktari William Ruto, Mheshimiwa Musalia Mudavadi, Waziri Mkuu wa Mawaziri, awe karibu ili kuweza kufika kuwakaribisha. Nirudie tena wale wengine, msafara wa magari yetu tapita hapa mbele. Kwa hivyo wale wanaohusika na itifaki tushughulikie viongozi wetu. Nafasi hii Mheshimiwa Daktari William Ruto nitampa nafasi ya kuondoka. After His Excellency the President, I'll invite the President of the Democratic Republic of Ethiopia will follow. So nafasi hii tutampa nafasi Mheshimiwa Daktari William Ruto kuondoka na mama
chukua baki.
Anaondoka sasa Mheshimiwa Rais, Mama Taifa. Asante.
Endelea na hiyo ya rais kwanza atoke alafu utaniambia.
Mkuu wa Mawaziri tafadhali Mheshimiwa Musalia Mudavadi vile aweze kuondoka.